All right, so what organizations are you a part of?
Well, let's just say I got my start with North Carolina's NAACP.
Okay.
That happened in the process of me trying to recharter my school's chapter. And then from there, I received a position at the state level and just started organizing ever since. I'm currently a Social the Polls consultant with Democracy North Carolina, which is another organization I've worked with for the past 2 years. I've done some things. I've turned up with Ignite and see a couple of times. Um, those are mainly my three
top ones.
Yep.
Okay. And so what has been your specific role? I know that you said that you organize. Have you done anything, like what's kind of your...
Everything that I do, as far as working with different nonprofits, are all geared towards the voter participation or GOTV, anything voter related for a certain organization. That's what I'm affiliated with. I just was recently named, we actually didn't name the position yet, but I serve as like a political liaison for the Charlotte Greek Picnic. So I'm providing information and as well as training members of the Divine Nine how to register people to vote. So everything that I do is kind of geared towards civic engagement.
Awesome. And how do you know Hannah and Greenpeace?
Like I said, this work started about 2 years ago. At that point, I was just hopping in and getting in touch with a little bit of everything in the Charlotte area. So I've attended a couple of the Greenpeace rallies. I was in front of Duke, participating in some kind of action. And then from there, I seen that Hannah was doing the work, and I liked the work that she was doing. So occasionally, I would volunteer with her. My favorite time, I actually chilled with Hannah. We went to, I forget the name of the middle school, but they had the little Repower Our Schools bus. So I thought that was pretty cool. Got the students out there to see what solar panels look like and explained it. So if they need something, if they have something going on, I can definitely support whatever Hannah is doing because it's making a change. So, and anytime she posts something on Facebook or whatever, I just try to stay up to date with it.
Awesome. So what issue do you think matters most to you?
I'm doing a lot of work towards voter engagement, so I would say that has been my bread and butter since I've started doing this 2 years ago. Like I said, every organization I've worked with, regardless of the type of issues that they tackle, because a lot of my organizations tackle more than one issue, my particular focus is voters. Yeah, so I don't know, especially, being black, like we've had the right to vote since the 1800s, and people, we didn't know that, not even after the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So I kind of try and make it my mission to make sure people like myself are aware of what we actually have, the power we could potentially hold. So
Yeah,
that's
because it starts with the voters.
Exactly. It all starts with just being aware. So I just try to make it my mission to make people like myself aware of what's going on.
So since the passage of Citizens United in 2011, we've been seeing a lot of corporate money going into campaigns and into politics. And so what are your thoughts on that role of money that has become such a big part of our government system now?
I'm glad that I'm with Democracy North Carolina because they've opened my eyes to issues like that. And I like the fact that they're an organization that has become a watchdog for the community, letting people know, like, hey, this type of money is going into your government. They're spending this type of money on this type of people. So to be a part of something that is bringing that to the community attention, I'm all for it.
And without these groups, it's kind of hard for
We
just
wouldn't know.
regular people
We would not know.
to know what's going on.
They probably wouldn't even tell us.
Exactly. So what do you think are some of the biggest threats to democracy that we have today? What's stopping us?
The funny thing, the same thing that's stopping us have been stopping us for the past, like, it's literally like a circle of life. Everything is repeating itself. So, of course, we have the voter disenfranchisement that I feel is stopping us. Again, all this money coming into the political arena stopping us. big companies thinking they can do whatever they want. Like I said, I got to credit Hannah and Greenpeace for making the community aware of what Duke Energy actually is doing in our community, you know, with the coal ash ponds. So all of that is just a huge part of why I am doing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. And since you said Duke, you know, we know that they are one of the biggest contributors to, you know, lobbying in candidates. What kind of effect do you think this has on, you know, North Carolina families, you know, from the smallest level?
Believe it or not, I think it has a huge effect. One of the biggest things that I try to do, especially with students, is inform them that local elections are 10 times more important. And companies like Duke has those local electors in their pockets,
Mm-hmm.
doing what they want with our communities. So if we aren't aware of what's going on, then we won't be able to make any kind of change.
Mm-hmm. So can you talk about how McCrory as governor has, you know, maybe affected you personally?
We don't have this Charlotte All-Star. We don't have the All-Stars no more. What do you?
I
So
know.
that's. I mean, not that I really could care less. Honestly, I'm gonna say I hate CIAA because I go to a CIAA school, but I didn't like the attention that CIAA was bringing, so I know I wouldn't have cared for the All-Stars. However, stuff like that is definitely affecting Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the whole
HB2.
HB 972, which is the rally for today with the police, the body cameras.
Mm-hmm.
So just a lot of those small changes are definitely affecting my life. And the reason why I'm strongly going to this rally is because I actually sat in the courtroom for the Jonathan Farrell trial. So to sit in that courtroom and, you know, participate in actions to actually get the body cameras, and now having Governor McCrory sign something saying that we can't, you know,
Publicly
use
sign.
Exactly. So I was like, no, we have to do something about this. We have to stand
Mhm.
up. We have to fight back. We have to say something.
Mm-hmm. So, since you have all these different rallies and things like that, can you think of one specific time where people really came together and it changed something? Maybe.
I would say the Jonathan Farrell
Mhm, I
trial.
was gonna say.
You
Yeah, I
know,
was gonna
that
say, can
definitely-
you just give some more background on that?
So Jonathan Farrell was the Charlotte version of, not necessarily Trayvon Martin, but this is a cop, unarmed black man situation. He was looking for help when he crashed his car and was shot. So to have, you know, when people hear about this, young people want to riot, shut down the city. So in my sense, how I wanted to participate, I wanted to sit in the courtroom and see exactly how this was going to play out.
Mm-hmm.
So sit in the courtroom, listening to the lawyers and the jury. Like, I sat mainly during the jury decision. So hearing how they were already criminalizing Jonathan, and he was the victim, he was the one who was shot and killed, I already knew that this wasn't going to work or pan out in our favor. So being a part of that, seeing the impact that had on Charlotte, people came out, people turned up. It definitely, I'm not going to say it died down, but people were still pushing for the fight of Jonathan, at least the people in my circle. His name always comes up in whatever rally or anything that we're participating in. So to even have that kind of attention in our community, it definitely helps.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And so that's definitely one of probably a success story when it happened.
It wasn't
And
really
then,
even
I
a
mean-
success story. I just like the fact that people came out. So even though it wasn't for necessarily cause that we wanted, people came out because something unfair happened. And I guess I appreciated that impact of how many people woke up and was like, okay, we need to do something about it.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think in like long term would be the way to keep, you know, money separated from the government and for the government to start really listening to its constituents?
So
That's a
don't
kind of
judge
a big
me.
question.
It is a big question, and I'm going to turn your question into my own answer. Honestly, starting our own government. I want to, if we want something to be ours, I feel we gotta take it ourselves. The biggest question I'm asked when I'm doing voter registration, who are you voting for? Of course, I'm on a nonpartisan contract, and honestly, I'm unaffiliated anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell people I'm voting for myself because I feel I can make more of a change than whatever, you know,
Mhm.
person we have.
Politician.
Exactly. So just our own government, our own. If we can get back to the community, policing the community, then I feel that's where more of a change will come from. And that's how, if economically we, give back to that aspect into the community, we won't need this big money in the politicians. If we start holding these local officials accountable and using government funds for us, for our needs in the community, we won't even, I guess, essentially need to worry about
So
money
starting
in the
from that bottom level where it really affects us.
Exactly.
It's every day, day-to-day type of
Exactly.
situation. So for the future, what do you want to see change, possibly legislation or just, how people respond to some issues or?
Well, for one, again, I'm going to start with this whole HB 972. I don't want to see that at all. Like, we need to, this was created for us. Again, even with our Civil Rights Act 1964, that was created for us. Don't let HB 2 stop that. Don't let HB 97 stop the use of us seeing police cameras. So I definitely want to see that change. And again, as far as like on an overall level of how I see things, I want to see the community take back over their community. That's ultimately how I see it. I want to see grassroots organizations working together and going to city council meetings or going to board of election meetings or sitting and talking to our senators like, hey, this needs to be fixed in the community and this is your job to do it.
So just getting everybody together.
Yeah, on a grassroots level and holding our leaders accountable. So hopefully that's kind of how I see things. As well as, like I said, I'm all for community policing. If little Tommy just took grandma's purse and you saw it, we're going to stop little Tommy and correct him right then and there so grandma can get her purse back. It's up to us, not necessarily police, because the police would have saw little Tommy take grandma's purse, probably would have shot him or tased him right then and there. So to prevent that, we got to start holding ourselves accountable as a community.
Yeah, just making sure to, raise them in a way that it won't affect them in the future and cause bigger problems.
Exactly.
Yep.
And educating we need to educate ourselves and on every level, from financial to political to, we got to start from, I'm not saying we got to start from ground zero, but essentially with some people we do have to start from ground zero just to wake people up.
And so you think that, with the grassroots movement that, people will start to come out? Like, how do we get those people who really need that education to come out?
So one of the things that I do, one of the things I like to do, I like knocking on doors. I'm the canvasser, I'm the one passing, I'm doing the flyering. So I don't mind knocking on your door saying, hey, we're having this community meeting, you need to be here. And if you don't come, our message is for everybody, but if you don't get it, then you don't get it. But those that do get it, they're going to come in and want to do work and want to be able to take part in some action, and that's how we make change from there. Definitely. Can't make a horse drink. If you bring them to the well.
Yeah, you bring them to the water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.